Woman claims 11K nose job gave her the clarity to get a divorce. I wish I went looking for some of this stuff, but luckily I have some really good subscribers that send me content all the time. So yeah, this chick's the most recent clown right now in the dating and relationship space, bragging about leaving her husband. I want you guys to notice this was posted by the Daily Mail right here, right? But the post that actually went viral is this top article by the New York Post with the title, "My 11K nose job helped me leave my husband." And because we are lazy here on the Coffee Pod, sometimes we are, we're actually going to have Miss Coffee here quickly summarize what's going on here in this article. Ms. Coffee, could you please summarize this article for us, please?
So this chick, Devin Aiken, 30, Philly native, had been walking around with a nose she clearly couldn't stand since middle school. Said she got bullied, insecure, low self-esteem. You know the drill. But instead of going to therapy or finding Jesus, she said, screw it, and dropped $11,000 on a nose job. Boom. New face, new vibe. And guess who caught a fade next? That's right, her husband. Girl got her bridge trimmed and immediately started burning bridges. Filed for divorce 1 month later. She went from for better or worse to for better cheekbones and peace of mind. And to make it even crazier, she's now TikTok viral with millions of views telling women they need to put themselves first, which loosely translates to, fix your face, leave your man, and log into Amazon Prime for a new identity. Bro, can you imagine your girl coming home like, babe, I did this for me, then hits you with divorce papers before the swelling even goes down? Moral of the story, don't get too comfortable, king. Sometimes she's not crying in the bathroom, she's scrolling for surgeons and planning her rebrand.
Damn, Miss Coffee. That was some dark roast. And so everybody's been pretty much talking about this chick. And then she thought she could come online and clarify about how this article misrepresented her, which I personally think this made her look a lot worse and actually confirmed the article. But of course, I'm curious to know, what do you think?
Do my skincare with me while I talk about an article that came out on the New York Post about my life. So basically, I did an interview with the New York Post regarding my nose job and my divorce, and they completely reworded what I said.
Geez, how long is this? Let's see if we can speed this up. Who wants to sit here and listen to this at the actual speed? Let's do 1.5. Here we go.
About my surgery and my divorce. So I'm here to just clear the air and set some stuff straight because I do not like to be misinterpreted, and I just feel like they literally twisted my words completely, and it was just not nice. I got a nose job in November 2024, 4 months post-op. My nose job has literally changed my life in every aspect. I am so grateful, so thankful. I love my results. Like, I could not be happier.
Right.
And I documented my whole nose job journey on social media, and I get tons of negative comments, tons of positive comments, and I am okay with both because I put myself out there. I knew what would come with social media, and I can handle it. I'm a big girl. So I recently opened up about a divorce with my husband. I was with him for 7 years. We made the decision to split. I know that might not be a surprise to some people that know me in real life, but I finally did confirm it because I didn't think it was fair that I needed to hide this and keep this part of my life a secret. I am not going to bad talk him, but this article basically is bashing me and saying that I got a nose job and then I left my husband. And that was not the series of events that happened, and I just really want to set that record straight. We've been separated for years. We were living separate. I got my nose job, and basically we sold our marital home. Nose job and think, oh, I'm so hot, I'm gonna finally divorce him. I got a nose job. I was turning 30, and I just was home recovering on the couch in my bed and realized I need to finally move on with this part of my life. I don't know why we're remaining married when it's not something that we want. So basically that's what happened. We did this article is doing a disservice to me and just basically making me seem like a shallow person, which was not the case. I did not like my nose. I was always going to get it done. I paid for it with my own money. He did not pay for it. It wasn't like, oh, I married you, got a nose job, and now I'm leaving you. That was not the case. Trust and believe me. So I just wanted to basically clear that up. we've been not good for a while, and it really was not anyone's business, but because now I'm on social media and I have been sharing my business, I thought it was important to elaborate so this article does not give a false representation of me. If I did or didn't get a nose job, we were still heading down the same path. It was bound to happen. So I just wanted to clear that up.
So let me get this straight. You're telling me both the Daily Mail and New York Post just decided to misconstrue what you were trying to say, both of those platforms? And I'm sure there's probably more, right? If I go do a search real quick, because this story is actually pretty viral. Let's see here. I went, looked it up right now. Oh yeah, a bunch of people are talking about this, right? There you have people.com. Months after getting 11K nose job, TikTok reveals new dramatic change to her life. You have all these different Yahoo, right? All these different platforms, MSN. And I get it. Public news outlets are not the most trusted platforms, but let's be honest, most times they're not going to want to offend their female audience. For them to go this direction, what probably happened is, I'm assuming she went there and said, you know, the nose job gave me this fresh start and confidence to divorce my husband. And she was expecting people to look at that and applaud it. But that's not the time we're living in these days. There are people out here who are actually caffeinated to an extent, and they don't mind speaking the truth and saying, you know, it kind of sounds like it gave you the type of self-confidence to leave him because you thought, okay, now I can probably attract someone else, or I feel like I can attract someone else. On top of that, she's building a brand and career off this whole thing. All this probably plays into her audience and her making more money. Chances are they did not sign a prenuptial agreement. I hope he's not the type of man to think, let me not benefit from this, run those pockets dry. Right? I say take her for everything she's got. And so that you can situate yourself, right? Not, you know, to the detriment of children if they have anything like that. But this just seems like she thought it was going to go one way, but it ended up going a different way, a way that painted her negatively.
My takeaway is, if you're not happy with your life or someone, no matter what age you are, you can leave. You can start over. You can do whatever you want. We have one life to live, and you need to be happy. I was not happy for a very long time. I think a lot of people saw me suffer. I opened up a lot about my mental health, depression, and I finally feel like I'm at a great space in my life, and I don't mind sharing. I don't mind sharing like my struggles or my success. Like, I'm also like a very normal person. I go through stuff, and I don't want to be defined by divorce. I don't want it to be like such a nasty, ugly thing. Like, yeah, we divorced, it didn't work out, and now we're gonna move on and be happy. So you can start over whenever. There's no time frame, no timeline. If you're struggling and you need to talk to someone, my messages are always open. You can reach out. I would love to chat.
Okay, so she's talking about her main focus is chasing happiness. You heard it for yourself. We can divorce and then happy, right? End up happily ever after. Life doesn't work out that way. Divorces, breakups, even when they look like, it looks like we might separate amicably here and things are going to be fine, usually never is that way. Usually gets a little bit ugly. And if you're chasing fleeting happiness, chances are you're going to have a very, very continual disappointing life ahead of you. But let's see what people have to say in the comment section. Top comment here says, tag him so we can get his side of this. Listen, I would love to hear his side for sure. I'll definitely follow it. And she responded back and says, literally, wait, what? She isn't bashing him at all. Okay, I see. Somebody else, one of her followers said, she isn't bashing him at all. Said they mutually agreed to split. Why would we need his side of the story? They don't want that. They don't want you to give your side of the story. They want to be the only spokesperson of how things went, and they don't want to be painted anymore in a negative light. Could you imagine what the internet would be like if men came and told their side of the story? I mean, if every chick who came on here who complained about her husband, her boyfriend, and ex, if he came up and aired out her dirty laundry, it'd be egregious. right? It'll be unimaginable havoc here on the coffee pot, especially. She responded back, said, literally. Somebody else here added, sure. I just want to talk to the guy, that's all. Somebody else here added, we just want to know what really happened. And she says, what does it matter? My nose job has nothing to do with my divorce. That's not what it sounds like. Somebody else here says, I honestly hate how everyone is twisting everything you said. Here, you have grade A simp. Somebody else here says, New York Post, doing you wrong. She says, so wrong. Somebody else here added, OMG, F my post. Here's somebody else who added, the paper is pretty much a tabloid. They tried to spin things negatively. Here's another person who added, now that you're single, come over for coffee, darling. Of course, here we have somebody shooting their shot. Kids still gonna have that nose though. Okay.
Drink the coffee, it'll make you feel better.
He's over there serving it. And somebody else here says she's dating a girl now. Whoa. I mean, that just took a different turn. Exactly. Yeah. Poor guy. Poor guy. Wow. Oh, so we have a confused individual here. Confused individual. 1 minute you want to get married, start a family with the man. Next minute you want to try a guy. Next minute, you know. It's going to end in tears. It's going to end in tears. Somebody else here says, that sucks. They framed it that way. Yeah, man. Be wary, guys, when you're out here dating, and really ask yourself, when you're dealing with chicks who admit that they're bi or say that they're curious in that way. And I know I'm going to get the guys, oh, every woman. No, relax. Relax. Right? Do we know that a lot of women out here do experiment in that way? Yeah, there are a lot of chicks who do, but not every woman is bi. It's like when, these would be the same men who get upset when women say every man is gay. It's like, bro, how can you accept one extreme and deny the other? Right? You're just doing the same thing that the chicks do. Just be wary of these chicks who admit that to you. And before you decide to get in a committed relationship with them, really, really think twice. That's my advice. All right. So unfortunately, that's not the end of divorce stories here. Moving on.
I've been with my husband for almost 20 years, but about 3 years ago, I was strongly considering divorce, and I want to talk to you about why. So I'm going to tell you the story of the day where I thought to myself, maybe I don't want to do this anymore. My husband and I had 4 kids. We both worked full time. We had been together for 16 years at this point. We've been together since high school. And on paper, I have an amazing husband. He is incredibly supportive. He's kind. He's loyal. He's a great dad. He's very hands-on. He's an active participant. He's always present. Like, on paper, what else could I ask for?
Right.
But in reality, my experience is very similar to the experience of other women.
Really?
I had this amazing husband who on paper was great, but I was incredibly frustrated and burnt out from our marriage and from motherhood.
So pretty much she's like, my husband may look good on paper, but in real life, he sucks. She's not going to really go into detail about how truly great her husband is because she's trying to frame this in a certain way here. So I'm going to give you a little bit more backstory so you know just how ridiculous this woman is actually being here. So her husband is a hard worker. I'm talking working 60 hours hard worker. And he's what's known as a lineman. If you've never seen it, here's some photos of the type of very risky job and skill this occupation actually requires. Risking his life, potentially have the chance to get electrocuted to death. And she's here complaining about things like emotional labor and him not filling up the dishwasher and a whole lot of shit that she should really be dealing with like a personal therapist or something like that. Instead, she comes online, bashes him on her social media platform where she tells people she's a stay-at-home content creator. Just ridiculous.
Because what happens to so many of us is that we marry these amazing men and we have amazing relationships, and then we have kids. And when we have kids, women tend to carry a disproportionate amount of the work in the home, the work of raising kids, and the mental load. And that is exactly what happened to us. About 3 months after my 4th baby was born, I remember looking at my husband and saying, I need more. I need you to do more. I am exhausted. I am in charge of everyone and everything in this house. Every night when we cook dinner, you ask me what to make. Every day when you drop off the kids at daycare, you ask me what they need in their backpacks. I am the project manager of this home and I need you to do more. And he looked at me and he said, okay, just tell me what to do, right? Every woman has heard this. Just tell me what to do and I'll do it. And I said, okay, something that would make my life easier is if in the mornings when I came downstairs with the 4 kids, because I do mornings by myself, the dishwasher was emptied, the dishes were put away, and the trash was taken out. That would make my life so much easier because when I've got the 4 kids running around and the baby crying, I can't be looking for their favorite water bottle in the dishwasher. I just need to know it's clean. And he said, yeah, of course. What? Yeah, I'll do that. That's no problem. And so, of course, he does it. But then I have to remind him, and then he forgets, and then I have to remind him again. And there was this one morning where I woke up, and I went to put something in the trash, and it was overflowing. And I went to get my son's water bottle, and it was in the dishwasher with all the other clean dishes. And I felt so disrespected and unseen and unvalued at that point in time. And I remember texting my husband being like, what happened? Like, why didn't you do this? And he said, sorry, I was running late for work. And I remember thinking, oh my God, he doesn't see me. Because what he's done has now made me late for work. And he doesn't care about that. He doesn't care about the impact on me. And he doesn't see how every single thing in our home happens because I ask him to do it or because
You work from home. Lady, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? How many times do you think he's been in the exact same situation? Frustrated almost to the brink of asking, why am I even doing this? Rethinking his marriage. Marriage is tough. It's complicated. Kids are a lot to handle. But why is it we're always seeing the moms and women get online and complaining? Are you telling me that men their life is just like really simple? Is that what it is? Maybe it's just really simple. And that's why men don't get online and bash their significant other for clicks and views. Maybe it is true. Maybe women have it the hardest that they've ever had it in history. This is just a horrible time to be a woman and a wife, a stay-at-home wife at that. It's just crazy, man. Everyone from the single mom with 6 kids and pregnant in a hotel room to the stay-at-home mom in the nice neighborhood and with the husband who's working 60 hours, all not satisfied.
Drink the coffee, it'll make you feel better.
Insane.
I do it myself or because I planned and organized it. The diaper bag is full because I filled it, right? I put the wipes in there. And I felt so frustrated. And I remember thinking, what's the point? What's the point of doing this with someone else? I might as well just do it alone. And it's not because my husband didn't love me or he did anything to me. And it's not because I didn't love him, but because I felt so taken advantage of in our relationship. And this dynamic, it doesn't happen by accident, right? It's not like my husband did it to me, but we've been raised in this society that tells men and women who they should be in marriages and what it looks like to be a good mom versus a good dad. And we know the bar for moms is way up here and the bar for dads is way down here.
Is it?
And we fell into these norms. We fell into these roles in our family despite the fact that we never wanted to. And I'm lucky, and I say lucky because I have a partner who I know loves me and wants me to be happy and was willing and able to change. And so we did the work to figure out what equity looked like in our relationship. And I can tell you now, 3 years later, that we are happier than ever. Our kids are thriving. Our home runs like a well-oiled machine. And that took a lot of work. I want to say it took like 18 months to get there. And it was well worth it. But
Poor man. She put that man through hell. Poor man, she put him through hell. Gentlemen, sign a prenuptial agreement. Head over to fathershaverights.com. Get yourself a prenup. If you are a man who is willing to enter marriage in today's modern day, then you don't need women like this holding the idea of you losing completely everything over your head to stress you out. This is ridiculous.
But it is not uncommon. And so if your wife is coming to you and she's saying, I'm burnt out by the mental load and I need you to do more, she's not just saying that because she wants you to do more chores. She's saying that because truly it can hurt your relationship. It can ruin your marriage if you do not participate in an equitable way in your home. And so what does that look like? What does it look like to change these dynamics? Well, we need to really assess in our homes what the work looks like. Because in most homes, the data supports this, women do a disproportionate amount of the work. They just do. They do more of the cooking and the cleaning and the laundry and the childcare while also working full time. And men have more time for things like their hobbies, like golf, for example, or just working out, running a marathon, right? And so we need to have hard conversations about what our time looks like, what our labor in the home looks like, what is invisible labor. We have to talk about these things. And when we don't, the alternative is that you no longer have a marriage, or you don't have a happy one at least. And so I share this story because I don't think I'm alone in this experience. And I want people to know that there's hope, and that if you have a willing and able partner, you can change this. You can absolutely change this dynamic.
Listen, I'm not against men helping out within a household. I'm definitely not against that. I don't mind cooking. In fact, I actually enjoy cooking. Right? I don't mind washing dishes. I sometimes like to do it, if I have time. It's not something I'm against at all. Right? I don't look at the kitchen like, oh, this is woman's work and I should never do it. No. And I think most men today understand that they're going to have to contribute to an extent. But the problem I have is we sit here and pretend like they aren't certain skills that women just naturally gravitate to because they're women. And they are better at those things. They aren't proud of those things. Women do not like who they are. If you guys notice, women do not like who they are. They don't like their natural skills, God-given skills. More specifically, I'm talking about modern feminist women, right? There are women who embrace their femininity and they embrace that side of themselves. But new age women sit there and they don't like who they are. They don't like the fact that they pay closer attention to detail. And so they are really good at raising children and can really notice small things. And they're a lot better at multitasking to an extent. These things are true. It doesn't mean that a man shouldn't step in and help out. But men are never going to be women. And when married people come together, who are man and woman, they assume their natural roles. Now, one complains more than the other. And what's surprising to me is, regardless of the woman's position, she's always complaining about lack of assistance, right? She could be working, in a career field, or she could be doing what this lady's doing, probably building a brand, nothing wrong with that. But let's not forget, this is what your husband does, right? They could be not working at all. We've seen every version of this at not in small levels, like at high levels. Complaints. When is a woman actually happy? When is a modern woman actually happy? You may say, well, when she doesn't have a man. I don't know. They're complaining about that too. Guys, go on a social media platform where they allow a woman to put a camera in front of her face. Keep scrolling. You're going to run into it. Complaints. Oh, I'm single. Oh, I'm married and it sucks. Oh, I divorced and it's so hard. Oh, I hate working. Oh, I don't know what my purpose is. Just a lack of accepting that happiness is not a place you reach. Their feelings. Life is suffering. There is no perfect. Things today are actually a lot easier than they've ever been in history, right? Do not make it your responsibility to make another person's happy. It doesn't mean you should go out of your way to make your life miserable. A person who really loves somebody is going to make that person's life as easy as they can humanly possibly make it without crossing boundaries and affecting their own mental state too much. Hope you're following me here. There are men right now who they don't hear this message. They're just hearing you're bad, you could be doing better, you suck. It's not your responsibility to make that woman happy, especially when you are trying, right? Of course, guys, curious to know what you think. Let's read a few of these comments. Top comment here says, and you think it would be so much easier to do this all by yourself? Exactly. I would love to see it, but I don't because, they have 4 kids. But that would be the teary-eyed video would be a classic here on the Coffee Pod. Goes on to say, with divorce, then throw emotional stress on all affected on top of it single. Here's somebody else who says, a woman's love language is not having to ask. I'll die on this hill. A woman's love language is not having to ask. So you want men to read your mind. Oh, look, a single woman talking about how she wants you to read her mind. This chick here says, having to ask is another task. Somebody else here added, a mother of 5, not 4. Ha 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 ha. Here's somebody else who says, are any husbands actually watching this? There's one right here. And I think it's stupid. Somebody else here says, we really shouldn't need to train grown men. What a terrible, terrible thread here. Just a bunch of crybabies. Gentlemen, choose your wife wisely. Moving on.
I'm currently married. I also have a boyfriend. I'm not sure if my husband still loves me, but I know my boyfriend do.
Okay, so hold on. Latera, what part of the Bible is this in? Yes or no? Do you love your husband?
I do.
Yes or no? Do you love your boyfriend more?
I don't know yet.
You don't know yet? Do he?
But you said you weren't sure that your husband still loves you.
Right.
Why?
Right. I don't feel it. I don't feel like.
Are y'all intimate?
No.
How long has it been?
About 2 years.
Girl.
All right, so we've got another ridiculous tonight's conversation short here. Why am I still reacting to these? I think, it is what it is at the end of the day. I can imagine the audience here, if you see the people.
How long has it been?
About 2 years.
Let's check.
Girl.
See, I can only imagine, this is me assuming here, that there's no way these people in this audience here are actually here to hear constructive, applicable relationship, marriage advice. There's just no way. A lot of this has to be entertainment. But then again, you would be surprised. You'd be surprised, right? We're talking about the same demographic here who lean towards individuals like Derek Jackson, who still has a platform, and a lot of other people who are out here scamming and pimping modern women. And so some of these people are dead serious, right? They're taking down notes. They're writing shit down.
I think you better call.
Maybe he's getting erect with emotions in his relationship. Maybe he has
A hard-on love.
hard on love. Maybe he has stamina for a long conversation.
I think a lot of times when it comes to being married, whether it's for 2 years, 20 years, 30 years, a lot of times we forget that the other side of the grass will always look greener. And a lot of times you can fall in love with the color of that grass and then oversee yours. I'm not sure if that man still loves you or not, but what I will tell you is those rose-colored glasses can be just as blinding as the day you got married. So that new might be just like your husband, but it may take a while to see it.
Honestly, though, before we go further, the issue is that she married. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. She's out of pocket.
God damn. How long? No. God.
Leave it up to Trip to give some accountability.
Oh, God. Ain't nobody finna be philosophical about that shit. You out here cheating on your goddamn husband and talking about what you supposed to do. Either take your home or get a goddamn divorce. How you up here asking for advice on how to violate a little more efficiently?
Period.
I know I'm wildin', but help me wild out just a little, I'm trying to tighten it up just a little.
Let's read a few comments here. Top comment here says, why do people do this in public? Somebody else responded back, for attention and shock value, and it works. Somebody else here added, imagine the husband finding this out while being loyal because she feeling. I don't know what else I'm supposed to say. Somebody else here says, the husband is also getting it somewhere. Somebody else here added, they're cheating on each other. Never encourage adultery. Skip, the only one that held her accountable. what's wrong with the world, so on and so forth. Yeah, I'm looking at the numbers on this, man. I don't see tonight's conversation really slowing down. As far as like the views and things going, I'm trying to see what else they have here.
Can cheating be justified?
No.
Kitty.
When we link cheating and you think about the realm of cheating, that's an act of betrayal. That's utter disrespect, okay? It's immoral. No one can justify that behavior. I don't care if they say, well, I was drunk, or I was high, or I slipped up, or I messed up. You cannot justify, because if you're justifying something, that means that you're saying that this was morally correct. This was a just decision that I made. You're fighting to prove that what you did was correct, that it was fair. It's not. I'm gonna say this, I'm gonna move this one just a tad bit. When someone does something to you, whether they overstep your boundaries, they disrespect you, they hurt you, they betray you, whatever it is, they cannot justify that behavior. Don't allow people to over-explain or justify or try to argue their point. When a person makes that decision, especially when it comes to cheating, I don't care what no one says, in the back of their mind, they know that it's wrong. They know that they're betraying someone. They're doing something behind someone's back. If you really think about it that way, can someone explain to you? Can they over-explain? Because that's what justifying basically is. Can they explain to you, a person who's hurting, you're broken, you've been betrayed, you've been disrespected. Somebody can stand in front of you and say, well, this is the reason why I did it. Is that really gonna matter? I don't know. Don't let nobody justify their behavior.
Yeah, I think when it comes to the conversation of cheating, that's 100% true, right? When it's wrong, it's wrong. Even in situations like, I remember hearing a story of an attorney talking about how the husband was in a sexless, might have been James Sexton, but I'm not sure. Talking about how the husband was in like a sexless marriage for like 6 years or something like that. And he got like, went to like a massage place, he didn't follow all the way through, but he used to go to this massage places. If you know what happens at the massage places, he was explaining, and she was devastated. And while she still has the right to be devastated, there are situations you look and be like, no, that's just the reality of things. Let's see what else we have here.
What kind of questions can we ask on a first date to hear those red flags?
The only people you're going to weed out with those questions is without no game. With game, know how to pass the first date questions. And so when you're really fixated on whether or not to pass the first date, that's how you fuck up. What it is can you keep your heart at bay long enough to see this man in a different season? Because now the new thing is to pretend you are emotionally intelligent. Just like a job interview. You know how many of y'all got the job simply because you know what to say on the interview, but you a horrible ass worker? It's niggas that know exactly what to say. If I've been toxic all my life, I know I can't show you who I am on the first date. I know how to bring my representative. I know how to put on a mask. So I'm gonna say everything I think you want to hear. And I'm gonna look at your cues. You know why? I got game. I'm gonna look at you nod. I'm gonna look at you smile. If you like that, I'm gonna say more like that. So listen, it ain't nothing I can do on the first date to prove I ain't got no red flag. And I need you to understand that. Now listen, I'm not saying don't have a healthy, open, transparent conversation. I'm just saying be careful how much stock you put in those questions, because that man could just be talking and period.
I think people...
Yeah. It was some good advice. I just know this, like, dates are like job interviews, man. Everybody brings their representative, even at their most genuine self, right? No one's coming on there really too vulnerable. There are socially acceptable lines there where people want you to know how to bring your best representative without being deceptive. Moving on.
Not a gold digger. I've also come to realization that there are just certain allegations that I will never, ever beat with you guys. I came into this situation with the status because I have a child by a very successful artist, right?
Oh my goodness.
From then, I I'm viewed as a certain type of woman because I'm beautiful and I have a nice body. And normally women like that attract a certain caliber of men, which is also not my fault. Now that I am in yet another situation where I now have a child with another successful man, there's no telling you guys that I'm not a gold digger. You guys, it's no beating those allegations at all. The only thing that irritates me is I read comments that say, oh, you're a gold digger, or you kept the baby for a check. What if I came to y'all's pages, right? And I compared the men that you have children with to the men that I have children with. And I said, you were digging for poverty when you picked him to be your baby daddy, weren't you? Oh, you kept that baby for an extra income tax credit, didn't you? Or you kept that baby for a couple extra $100 in food stamps, didn't you?
This is sad. I hope you guys know what's happening right here. These women have made the highest attainable standard in their life. How many rich baby daddies you can get to clap your cheeks? Rah. That's what they've done. She's here bragging. She says, my baby daddy is a millionaire. Your baby daddy is broke. She might be right. But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about what measurement here are we? Is this the highest attainable standard for these chicks? And this is why I just, to some extent, when I see all the Dreas and women like this and the entertainment space, and they don't mind leveraging babies. Like that's what's happening here. You're leveraging babies to get a check. Not in the way it's been done in society where you're setting those children up for a healthy family environment. No. They're going to suffer. Unfortunately, you're their mother. Unfortunately. Tough to hear. It's tough to hear. But she's not remorseful at all. She seems a bit soulless about this situation. There's zero accountability. In fact, she doesn't think it's her fault. She thinks that she's being called a gold digger in 304 because she's pretty and has a nice body. I mean, there's just all types that's wrong here. And none of these two here are innocent, right? None of these two here are innocent. When I found out that Anthony Edwards allegedly got 3 women pregnant in 1 year, and I know for a fact there are people who are going to, there are dudes out there who are going to be like, it's not his fault. They exist, right? These are the same people who look at the woman in the hotel room who was splitting 4 top ramen packets with leftover chicken to her 7 kids and saying that's her doing what God said, be fruitful and multiply. These are real people walking the face of this planet. Walking the face of this planet. Protect your daughters. Protect your seed as a man. It's like, how much encouragement can you give young men? If they want misery, they will have it. You get what I mean? What else can I say? Gentlemen, protect your seed, right? I just saw a video of a man talking about how much pain and suffering he's going through, and he wants to end it all because he's not being allowed to see his child and all this, and he picked a horrible mother. If you're not currently in that situation, please be responsible. This goes to the young men and women, right? Get yourself together.
Or you kept that baby for an extra Section 8 voucher. Is that why you kept your baby? I've been purposely staying off the internet. Reason being is because I don't want to come out of character.
This is a 40-year-old woman, by the way. Right, 38, 40. She's heading that way.
From the things that are being written and commented, the lies that are being made up. And I know that if I put myself in position to respond, I'm then putting myself in position to defend my daughter and defending her of what has been written. There's no nice way to do it because people have been so ignorant and so cold-hearted towards a child. I'm not even sure if it's a woman or if maybe, well, I know I'm probably getting this attention because of who I am and who I am attached to. Just generally speaking, the second a woman decides to make the decision about her body and her child, y'all turn into weirdos. Do you want a man to tell you what to do with your body or not? Do you want the right or not? What happened? I'm on one tonight. We gonna talk about it. Cause see, I sat back and I watched y'all in your dirty bonnets, lay back on your headboards, or in your cars with the cloth seats. I saw you. And you voiced your opinion about what you would have did if you were in my situation with my options that you do not have and you probably never will. How you gonna tell me what you would have did with my situation when you had a baby for your weekend, or you had a baby for that dude that be robbing everybody, or you had a baby for the booster, or you had a baby for the dude that you have to run down for $250? Yeah, let's talk about it. I'm not a gold digger.
All right. So that's that. Top comment here says, her voice alone makes me feel like Edwards. Here's somebody else who says, mind you, she's 38. Somebody else here added, Anthony, not wrong. Somebody else here says, she talks like she's 5. Yeah, definitely some wires there that need reattachments. Here's someone else who says, a baby mama is not a status, beloved. Right. Thank you. There we go. A beautiful, smart woman right here. Speaking facts. A baby mama is not a status. It's not something you should go around bragging about. This woman says, her voice immediately irritated me. And somebody else here added, I will never forget, little baby hates her first. You know what's the most disheartening thing? I know I'm going to get proven right. I know I'll probably get hate for this. None of these two, maybe little baby is, but he's not done. You guys are going to say, oh, how dare. He's not done. I hope he is. But that 3 pregnancies in 1 year to me, and the normalization, the lack of questioning that, I don't understand. But I don't think he is. Right? And if we're going to hold her accountable, we have to hold him accountable. Now, we're not talking about, can a man say he doesn't want responsibility? We're just simply talking about the participation and being careful. There's a degree of responsibility there. Moving on.
These are my requirements for a husband since y'all want to bother my dad so much about my hand in marriage. First, I'm going to want my own room, my own bathroom, and a walk-in closet in the house because I did grow up a little bit spoiled, so I don't really like to share. You're going to be my husband, though, so we can have, sleepovers, but yeah. You'd need to have an...
Wait a second, what?
And I'm going to want my own room, my own bathroom, and a walk-in closet in the house because I did grow up a little bit spoiled, so I don't really like to share. You're going to be my husband, though, so we can have, sleepovers, but yeah. You'd need to have enough money for help around the house because I'm not a good cook. The most I do is bake. Also, I would want help with, cleaning and stuff. And if children are in the equation, help with that because I will be working.
So let me get this straight, man. Let me get this straight. You want your own bedroom. 1. You want a walk-in closet or something like that. You want help, housekeepers, maids, so on and so forth. And you can't cook. They failed you. This is what being spoiled looks like. Why should you get that?
I would also want an educated man, so bachelor's, master's, doctorate, or if that's not your route, like ambitious, have a couple businesses, stuff like that. Next.
Not just one, a couple of them. Oh, man. This is how kids make their Christmas lists. The year that they're about to find out Santa doesn't exist.
Drink the coffee, it'll make you feel better.
Next on the list is you're gonna have to be taller than me, so 6 foot at least. Funny because, you know, I like to crack a joke.
We didn't see that coming. I don't care. I'm going to pause it a bunch of times. But we really didn't see that 6 foot coming. That came out of nowhere.
So you gotta be able to, you know, banter and like take a joke. I honestly don't really care to get married, but
I hope you can take all the jokes we're giving here on the coffee. Let's see if she can take the jokes.
if like it happens and he meets the requirements, then yeah. Let me know if you guys want a part 2. These are my requirements.
Okay, these comments might be fun. Let's see. Top comment says, y'all think hers are bad. Y'all don't want to hear mine. This person says, y'all hate a woman with standards. OMG. Those are young girls.
These are my
early 20s probably. Somebody else here says, still grown women. Somebody else here says, these are not crazy requirements though. They're insane. They're insane. To say you must do all this and the only thing I can barely do is bake. It's just crazy. What does he get? That's the question. Somebody else here says, y'all hate when women have standards. Why are people mad? I thought this was like bare minimum. A couple businesses. Mercy. Yeah.
Of course my world revolves around me. Who else would it revolve around? It's not my fault yours doesn't revolve around you. You should make some lifestyle changes. Of course my world revolves around me. Who else would it revolve around?
Here's the thing, man. Here's the thing. Cause people don't understand, right? This is how a man looks at this video. And you can't know this without a drop of espresso in your system. Because espresso like opens your eyes, right? Imagine this was a man getting up on here saying this. You have made it, and this is to the people who don't understand, you've made it okay for chicks, younger chicks, early 20s, 30s, 40s, even 50s, to be just genuinely come off kind of like too sassy, entitled, think they deserve things just for existing, right? Like these are the women who they've kind of conditioned over time. It's not pleasant to a man who really is serious about looking for a wife. It's not something that a man looks at. You're not going to get the type of man who looks at this and goes, oh yeah, I would like to spend long periods of time getting to know this person. Right? Like genuinely coming off sort of off-putting, women think is cute. And they think like, listen to what you just said, the world revolves around me. It's not a healthy thing. It's not a healthy thing.
This is part 2 of my requirements for a husband so I can weed out all the people asking my dad for my hand in marriage. You will have to pay my bride price even if I marry outside of my culture. I feel like that's just like a testament to showing my family that you can actually take care of me.
Bride price? Listen, as a black man who, even though I've been raised in the U.S. most of my life, there's a large part of me that understands where she's coming from. You guys know I was born in Zambia. And people do pay that. But they're paying it because they think they're going to get something of value in return. And I'm not saying that you don't bring value, right, in yourself. And I'm not saying you're not valuable as a human being or any other woman out here. That's not what I'm saying about this chick. I'm saying in the context of the home, like what is she going to bring in the home? She's already said she can't cook. And we haven't heard the good stuff.
You can never raise your voice or curse at me. I will leave immediately. I'm absolutely keeping my last name, and I want my whole family to have the same last name. So you'd have to take my last name, and I'd be naming the kids as well. No.
I'm out. She thinks this is a joke. She's trolling us, obviously.
I don't know if you guys know anything about African weddings, but that's going to be like a 3-part affair minimum. At least 2 vacations a year. I would like someone well-traveled, and like traveling is a hobby of mine, and I'm trying to hit every single country in the world, so I'd want someone that shares that same interest. Someone that speaks at least 3 languages, because I speak 3 languages, and I'd want our kids to speak 3 languages, so the teaching starts at home. These are all things that I can provide for myself or will be able to provide for myself, so if I do let a man into my life, he's gonna have to upgrade me, okay? Let me know if you guys want a part 3, because there is more. This is
Poor girl, but we will be back. We're keeping an eye on this. We're going to see how this turns out for you. On the traveling note, man, I think it's hilarious. Women will have like hobbies that require other men's money to maintain. My hobby is going to a nice restaurant. I'm a foodie, but I can't afford the places I go to, so I get guys to pay for it. Like, no one ever thinks about this. How can your hobby be traveling? And you just want to travel. You want to be a traveling individual, but you can't afford the places yourself. You know, you need other people's money to pay for it. This was kind of entertaining, I'm not going to lie. Guys, I appreciate you for checking out yet another episode of The Coffee Pod. Wish this chick the best. Hopefully she gets some coffee soon. Till next time, I'm out. Peace.